When you were interviewed by Yu maybe 10 years ago, you also said similar things that at age 30, you felt too old to change a career. You feel like all the things you've done is around film, around movie. But do you guys know, Jo actually released her first book last year called Maoyu. It's an autobiography. It's 330,000 words. And that's your first book. And what made you open that door at age 63?
Happened very naturally. I've always loved reading. I have been a voracious reader, and I love literature. A letter writer, I've always written letters. So I think words are very important to me. And so when I was approached by an editor in a literary magazine, Shanghai Wenxue, by the editor who is himself an award-winning novelist, a fantastic editor, and he read some of my writings, spontaneous writings that I posted, on my social media. He said, "You know what? You should write." And I said, "No, I can't. I write probably a few thousand words here and there, but not a book." And I started with a monthly poem about 10,000 words each month. Without the column, I would not have had a book. So it wasn't really meant to be an autobiography. It was just my life, or my encounters, or people who meant a great deal to me, or what was happening around the time. And always somehow going back into history, even though I wrote about what I was like right now, I always reached back. So I traveled between time in each piece, and later on it became sort of an autobiographical collection. But the entire thing happened during the pandemic when we were not traveling as much, when we were not working on location, or I had the peace and quiet just to sit with myself. So it wasn't really, changing into another profession, but just found another way of self-expression, which is really wonderful.
Being an award-winning author, does that make you feel different than being an award-winning actress?
I mean, it's all great encouragement, a pat on the shoulder. This is not my work. I have directed movies that could not be shown. And people ask me, I spent 3 years on it, and, a lot of self-sacrificing, but it's not shown. What do you think? I feel like I had the best time just making it. Selfishly, I've got my enjoyment already. And so I would love for the audience to see it, obviously, to have that two-way communication, but in a way, we're selfish that way. We love being creative, and we have the opportunity to do that. That is just great. So the greatest enjoyment actually happens when you're doing it. That's your happiest time. That's where you get high. And so, it's always nice to have a pat on the shoulder, but it really is not my work.
So you didn't have any expectation towards the result, no matter it's film or writing a book?
Just for your information, I was nominated as the worst actress once.
No way. I can't believe that.
There is that thing. I don't know, I forgot what that award is for. Worst film, worst actress. I was nominated and I did not win.